Hi, Amanda. Good to have you here. Oh, she disappeared. She's in and out. Oh, there we go. We'll wait for another minute or two before we get started. And
Sure.
yeah, see, I know that there was a few that said they were going to try and get here. So, as I
Nice.
said, if worst comes to worst, people will be able to watch the replay. So,
Hmm.
good. Oh, Amanda, you seem to be having the same issue Karen had the other night with having two entries. It does that every now and then. I don't know why. So, you looking forward to all this snow on?
We're not getting any of it. We're getting rain.
Oh, I don't know if I'd like that either, though. Well, yeah, maybe I would. As long as it doesn't freeze. It's
I'm not
freezing in the.
shoveling, so it's all good.
Ah,
I'm not shoveling, so it's all good.
there you go. Well, another couple minutes and then we'll get started. And yeah, yeah, Southern Ontario is supposed to, and then of course other areas going east are supposed to get hit with it.
Mm.
Hi, Danny. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, I looked on our weather and it didn't say anything that there's a snowstorm warning or anything. So I'm like,
Well, they're
super.
talking southwestern Ontario is supposed to be the part that gets
Oh,
hit.
okay.
So, um, unfortunately, I'm kind of in that category. So,
Yeah, I'm in southern Ontario, so we're not gonna get it. We got it a couple weeks ago when it was when Buffalo got the 6 feet of snow. We were getting hit.
that was brutal. Oh,
Mm.
I don't. I last time I remember ever seeing anything remotely close was when I lived up in Cornwall when I was a little girl. That's a lot of years ago.
I
Well, we
remember the
just
blizzard
started,
of
I guess.
'77, so that
Uh-huh.
was. I remember the blizzard of '77.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was in Halton Hills at that point. I was in Georgetown. I was back home by that time. We'd moved from Cornwall back, but yeah. So we'll get started. Um, Now I'll just a little bit about why these sessions are being held. It's one of those things where it's one of those things where I kind of been getting some guidance in terms of helping a lot of people in the collective. So many are suffering right now. I have several clients that are, um, suicidal, or they just don't want to be with their family anymore. Husbands, wives, children. It's really gotten bad. So yeah, so one of the reasons that I'm doing this is to bring some awareness to the many different types of people and modalities and places that people can go, that will resonate with them to help them going forward with whatever it is they're feeling or whatever they feel they need, whether it's a mental, emotional, a physical, a spiritual, whatever it is. They'll be This is what we're doing. This is essentially what we're doing. Um, and of course, Brenda, you and I, we haven't met in person yet, but we have talked several times, with different event things to be going on and stuff like that. So it's fabulous to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, Danny, did you want to type something here? Here we go. no, it's not actually Zoom. Okay, so Danny, can you type in the chat, hon? Because it's got her hand up. Amanda was having her time with the connection. Yeah, it's okay. I'm new to this too, Danny. This is my first time on this platform hosting something. I got Sam in the background. She's over watching me to make sure I'm not messing things up. Um, so if you have anything to say at all, by all means, please do type it in the chat. And if you or you can talk at some point if you want. But just let me know, and we'll go from there. No, you don't need a Zoom ID. This just being in here. This is the platform. This is where everything's happening. It will be replayed later. So yeah, uh, so Brenda, you have about 25 years experience or background in social service work, trauma, mental health, various holistic modalities, and I know it's your absolute passion to help transforming people on their life path and journey, right? So maybe give us a bit of an intro in terms of who you are.
Well, yeah, as you said, I have been doing my holistic work for almost 30 years now. It'll be 29 years this next coming year. It started when my mom passed away at the age of 51 with cancer. So right at the end of her life, we started looking towards holistic therapies and modalities, which back in 1994 was pretty much unheard of. So SEACT, different things like that. And that really started me on my journey of seeing what was out there and what the options were, because I love providing people with options, because when you have options, you have choices, and it's all about taking back your power and having the choice to choose what's best for you. Sorry, I've got a tickle.
Well, that's okay.
And then back in 2009, I went back to school and I became a social service worker and worked in social services, working with people with that suffered from mental health and addiction and trauma, and that were homeless. So I ran a lot of holistic programs and life skills programs and different things like that as well. It only happens when I'm talking on, I'm getting on a call or something. Sorry about
Of
that.
course.
No other time do I ever have issues. So I did that, and then I retired back in 2017, went back into my holistic work, and that's what I've been doing ever since, and creating courses and products to really help transform people's lives. So that's my focus.
Beautiful. That's amazing. We need a lot of people like you. This is
Well,
what
thank
we
you.
need right now more than ever, right? Um, so I do know. I met you, of course, through Vanessa,
Yes.
the retreat that we were supposed to be holding,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of how we connected. And as you know, connections happen for a reason. They always do.
Yeah.
Um, so at some point, we'll also have Vanessa on as well. That's something that going forward that she'll be one of the other ones that we bring on. Um, Now, you had mentioned about the Aboriginal approach to healing, and that you'd studied Aboriginal adult education.
Yes.
Can you give us some details on that?
Sure. After I finished my social service worker diploma and was working at the Hope Center for a while, I had an opportunity to take my bachelor's of Aboriginal adult education. So that was at Brock University as well. There was a portion of it that was taught up on the reserve in New Credit, so in Hagersville, so just outside Hagersville. So I would go up there on the Friday evening after work and do classes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and come home Sunday. So I really got to um, experience the being on the reserve and their culture and their traditions and things. And yeah, it was wonderful being up there and just learning the different the things that when you're there, it's like this is so simple, but Western. Oh well, um, this is interesting. So yes, Western teachings don't. They are going into it now, but back then it was they didn't teach a lot about the different ways of teaching, so hands-on or learning or listening, so all those different things. So that's one of the things that I really like to include in my courses, and anything that I'm really creating or doing is to bring all those different aspects and all the different senses into what I am what I am doing. So here we go. She's coming back.
Please, I don't know. Is that storm coming sooner than later? Amanda's having problems, Dan.
Oh my goodness. So I
Anyway,
just
my apologies. By all means, keep going.
That's okay. I was just explaining that back when I was taking my classes up on the reserve, Western teaching didn't really um, go into the different ways of teaching, like hands on or videos or all those different aspects of teaching. And that's one thing that is now getting more prevalent, but I like to include all those in the courses that I'm doing, as well as the different um, products that I've made, so that you get to infuse it into your life. It's not just, okay, here it is, but you get to use all your different senses to really infuse that into your life and make big changes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, anything with the indigenous or aboriginal or anything as such. I mean, as I've trained and been training, I'm still in training. I'll always be in training. But anyways, doing the shamanic piece that I did, with the woman on Manitoulin Island, Deborah Tate, she's amazing. I highly recommend her when anybody, is looking to teach that kind of modality or not teach, sorry, to take that type of teachings. The Aboriginal has such a natural, beautiful way of looking at things,
Hmm.
right? In so many different respects, it really shone a whole lot of light for me. Even looking at death, right, of family members and people close to me. I was able to really integrate, what I know and what I feel. Whereas before I knew and I felt a certain way, but I was able to actually integrate it into one in a very positive way. So, yeah, I agree with what you're saying 100%, definitely. Um, so, right now, what is it that you're feeling that you would like to do to help what's going on with the collective right now? Because as you know, the energy is we're in a position right now where the majority over the minority, unfortunately, are, there's not a balance there right now, and many of us, especially many of us that are working, or passionately helping others, it's one of those things where we need to really pick it up. We're really getting the little nudge there, and keep going. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. because we really need to bring that into check. It needs to be balanced. So, what is it that you're doing, or you feel that you want to do, Brenda, in order to do that?
Well, I think the most important thing is really raising the vibration. So being positive, getting the positivity uh, out there, which right now there's a lot of people, I like to see it as being stuck in a tar pit. And there's a lot of people in the tar pit because misery loves
Oh,
company. So there's a whole pile of people down there. And it's
yeah,
all fear based. And it just keeps sucking you in and sucking you in until it finally engulfs you. And then there's no coming back from that. So being able to spread positivity, spread unconditional love, and being kind, and just knowing that everybody is on their own journey. Yeah, it might not be the journey you would have chosen, but it's not your life. So it's more of just understanding that everybody's journey is we're all going to end up in the same place. So we are here to do our own thing. And if we shine as bright as we can, which is what we're down here to do, and realize what we came down here to do, because a lot of times we forget that. And when we start to realize that to be of service to others, and it doesn't mean being a doormat or anything like that, but being of service and just maybe smiling at everybody you see, or just sending out good thoughts to somebody that's struggling, or helping somebody. It's just like paying it forward, just being
oh
kind
yeah.
to humans. We're all humans out here trying to, actually, I don't even like the word try. I'm taking that
Yeah,
word
you
out of
do what
my
I do.
vocabulary because I find it's a wussy word. It's just like, I'm trying. No,
Well, it's
I'm
almost
either,
like a negative connotation as
it
opposed to
is.
actually doing, right? It's like but, try. There's
Yeah,
that genre of words that you kind of try to wipe right out of your vocabulary. I hear you.
exactly. So this is what I'm doing, because you're either doing or not doing, as Yoda said. So it's just like I've created my book that's going to be relaunched in January, as well as the oracle cards working with essential oils. But what it does is it brings up your vibration, and when that happens, everybody's vibration raises. Turn off the TV, turn off the news, turn off all the nonsense. You don't need it. You don't need it to live. I have lived without the news for I don't even know how many years now, and I don't miss it. And sometimes I'll go to the bank and it's just like bombarded with fear and horrible things. It's like, oh my goodness, it's just like throwing all this like tar at you, and it sticks to you, and it's not a good place to live. So I'm raising the vibration. That is what my focus is to, actually, my goal, I have a very specific goal, is to help transform the lives of 500,000 individuals. That is my goal, and I do that through the products and courses that I've created. So
That's beautiful. Yeah,
thank
no,
you.
I totally hear what you're saying about what it feels like out in the collective at this point in time. Um, and it's funny, even in not in being as high an empath as I am, I can remember being in line with somebody in the dollar store, and uh, getting a few things and standing in line, and I couldn't. It was overwhelming me so bad. I was feeling it so harshly. I literally, here, take this. Here's my card. You know the number. Okay, I'm going out to the car, and it was like, huh? Tell you later. So out the car I went, and they were left, but they knew, they understood once I left. I was like, you'll know why. So, anyways, and they understood. But I literally walked out of the store and handed the whatever it was that I was buying at that time and said, okay, same
Mhm.
thing. And it's one of those things where it is, especially when you're highly empathic, you can really, really feel that energy. Um, It's yeah, very difficult at times. Yeah, I don't watch the news either. I haven't watched the news in I don't know how long. I have occasionally I'll have something come up on my phone about something that's going on, mainly because I just like to know what's going on in terms of what we're all moving through at the moment. I don't like to know what they're up to once in a while, just a little sneak peek because I don't trust them. So, and knowing what we know in terms of what's going on and whatnot, I just like to see the other side once in a while, just to kind of kind of maneuver through it and navigate my own way through. But yeah. Um, so, do you have any projects right now that you're working on currently?
Yes, I am. I'm working on reformatting my book. I canceled the contract. I just had it published at the beginning of October.
Yeah, you
And
did. I
yes,
remember I remember seeing your post.
yes. So I have decided to relaunch it January 21st, which is the new moon. And yes, make some changes to it and put it back out. So I am doing it myself and getting some help on the launching and getting it out into the world, because that was a real important thing about writing the book in the first place, and
Yeah,
it
I'm in
didn't
the
really
same boat.
happen as I was hoped. So yes, I'm taking control back and doing it my way. So
Beautiful. So, can you tell us a little bit about your book?
sure, I actually have I've been working through it, so because I'm formatting each and every page. So
Yeah.
this is it here. This is what the uh, first publication looks like. So I've got a couple of these left if anybody's interested. But it's called What If 365 Positive Possibilities for Your Life. So each day is a different what if. So it takes you on a journey. It's not telling you, hey, this is what I did to get where I am. It's giving you the options and the possibilities and perception to think of something different. So I know when I would set goals or think of things like, what do I want? But if it's never been presented to me or I've never seen it, I don't know what to ask for because you don't know what you don't know. So having what if, it gives you an opening to go, what if this? So what if today I made this the best day possible? What would that look like for you? And then it's like, I don't know. And then that's where it's more of a journal prompt as well. So it explains a little bit. It gives some content on, you know, some questions you can ask yourself and some exercises. But it just really opens up your mind to go, well, what if I did have this the best day ever? What would that look like to me? What do I want to happen? So you're consciously creating your life each and every day. And each day it's going to be different. So instead of waking up going, oh,
Another day.
another day, when's Friday going to get here so I have the weekend? It's like, hey, I've got a blank slate today. What am I going to do? What do I get to do today? What can I create? So, this is what my What If book is all about. It's just opening up that door and taking you on your own journey, because everybody's journey is going to be different depending on what filters they're working with, what belief systems they have, and what they want out of life. And it's really important to become a conscious creator instead of somebody who leads a reactive life. Because if you're reacting to everything, you're not leading your life. You're reacting to everybody's drama. You're
Hmm.
just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
And that's nowhere to live. I've in all the research I've done, they say people spend more time figuring out what they're going to do on a trip than they do of their life. And
Yeah.
that's a scary thing.
I've never heard that before, but yeah, I have to agree 100%.
Yeah,
You
because
plan
on a
more of
trip,
your trips and things you want to do
yeah,
occasionally as opposed to ongoing. Yeah.
exactly. So, your trip, it's like, all right, well, when am I going to leave? How am I going to get there? Is it plane, train, automobile? Where am I going to stay? What am I going to do? Am I going to stay in one place? What other things do I want to, what activities do I want to do? What traveling am I going to do while I'm there? Where am I going to eat? And plan all those things out. In our lives, it's like, well, what would you like? I don't know. Well, I know what I don't want. I don't want to hear what you don't want. Because the universe is like, really? You don't want that again? Well, that's what we're going to give you because we don't hear the don't want. We just hear, that's what you're saying. It's like, okay, here you go.
Yeah,
But
and that's the thing. That's exactly the thing, because so many people don't realize when they say be careful what you think about, because it's dangerous. Because if you are thinking a lot about what you don't want, the universe doesn't always decipher what you want and don't want. If you're spending a lot of time thinking about that thought specifically, especially negatively, it's going to happen. All right. That's what you're going to bring into your life. So, yeah,
absolutely.
good point. It's very important.
Mm-hmm. So there's lots of different, like on goal settings. So it's really helpful to help you start consciously creating. So it's not just a whole bunch of questions, but it's like, okay, what goals do you have? What do you want? And sit there and think about what you want and then write it down. And if there's things that come up, there's a what if for that. Because it's like, okay, well, there's going to be, the ego's going to be coming up and yapping in your ear. And well, this is what you do for that. And then it comes back. It's like, hey, how's those goals doing? Because a lot of people, and I myself am guilty of it from before, is like I'll read something and it's like, oh, that's going to take some time. I'll just go to the next one. I'll just read them, just kind of bypass. But I keep coming back going, hey, how's the goals coming? How's those goals coming? And because my editor, she's like, you got goals every couple of days. I'm like, yeah, I did that for a reason. Because eventually they're going to be like, oh, man, I got to sit down and create some goals. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. In order to create your life, create some goals because you won't be sorry. Because next year you'll be farther along and you'll live your dreams if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, Samantha said, yes, I've done this and it's supported me a lot. Yeah, yeah, it does. It's again, power of thinking and being mindful. It's there, that and equals manifestation. Really, they're very short formula, but it sounds simple, but it's not always simple, right?
No.
It can be very trying.
And it's committing to yourself. You're important. You are so, so important. So take the time for yourself and
Mm-hmm.
do these things. And then the oracle cards, of course, using those with essential oils, bringing in essential oils into your life are just amazing because they work in the background where you don't realize until a whole year's pass and then you go, oh my goodness, my life is not the same as it was when I started. This is crazy. And you'll notice that your mindset is shifted and you think differently and you've got different beliefs and it's a lot more positive. And I worked with essential oils for a whole year and it changed my life. And that's why I created the cards because I found that there was just a lot of information about essential oils out there and it can get really, really confusing.
Overwhelming how much information.
Overwhelming.
There was a time when
Absolutely.
you couldn't find any information, and now there's too much.
Well, I know when I first got my first like package of oils, I was so excited, and then I opened it up, and then I went, "Now what do I do with it? I don't know because there's just so many. There's so many choices, and it's like, do I spray them all? Do I use them on my body? What do I do?" So the oracle cards are just a great way to, again, start your day in a more positive way. Open up your mind to more possibilities because when you start with those possibilities, great things start to happen. And then using the oils along with it just puts that extra oomph into it. Like you don't need it, but it's really nice to use them alongside each other.
So can you better explain how you created these oracle cards in conjunction and how they work in conjunction with the oil? Obviously, they work together,
Mm-hmm.
right? Can you give us some examples, like in terms of yeah, like even if you got them, maybe show a photo and one and how you would use that. Oh,
So these are my cards. This is the back sides of them. And I like working with the medicine wheel because it's all
Mhm.
about balance. We are whole. We are not broken. So if we see ourselves as a whole circle, and we have many aspects, but the main aspects are the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of the person. So that's really what I'm talking about when I'm talking about my in the oracle cards here. So there's the booklet, the little guidebook that goes with it. And let me shuffle them up here and see what we got for tonight. See what the divas have to say. Oh, there we go.
Oh, they're coming out at you.
They are. So lemon.
Okay.
So the booklet is split into three different things. So the top paragraph, this is from the diva's point of view. So the diva of the lemon, so that spirit of the lemon, the essence of the lemon. And then it can go into an exercise and a meditation or both.
Oh,
And then it's got an affirmation at the bottom. So I'll just read the top part. Good day.
yeah.
I'm Lemon, and I help you get up and moving in the morning. And there we are talking about the morning.
Coincidence not.
Not. You seem to be going through a rough patch in life. You dream of bigger things, but just not sure how to move forward. Well, look no further. I can help cleanse your spirit and mind, releasing old patterns which give clarity of thought and purpose. So there's exercise that go with this, and then the affirmation is I nurture myself as I take each step towards living my dreams. I am rocking this. So there's I have a 3-card spread as well as a 5-card spread that you can do if you're looking for a more in-depth answer to a question. I also offer private readings, like 30-minute and 60-minute readings. I do that as well. So yeah, or you can purchase the cards, and there's 53 in the deck, and each one represents a different essential oil. So what I do in the morning is I'll pick a card, usually because it's quick. So it's 2 minutes. It's not a whole big process. Oh, it's something else I have to do in the morning. No, it's a quick 2-minute process. I shuffle. Usually one falls out like it did tonight. I'll grab the oil, breathe it in, or I'll diffuse it, and then I might journal something, and then I'm off for the day. And it's pretty easy. And then if I didn't have the essential oil, I do have all of them, but if I don't, then I just shuffle a card, and it just helps me into a more positive state for the day, and just saying that affirmation or just putting something positive in my heart that I can take with me wherever I go that day.
That's really nice. Danny said, I have a lemon essential oil. Loved it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've got actually 2 cases of essential oils because I have all my own stuff that I make too. But um, I wonder, my God, I should have pretty close to 53. I may have everything that's in there or close to it. I keep telling you, actually, after we had talked about the retreat, Rosemary and I both said that we'd really like to get our hands on that because I think it would be really nice because I typically get up in the morning. I wake up, I meditate before I even put my feet on the floor. I'll pick a meditation, whatever that is for that day, before I get up and have my shower and go about my day. So I can add that little nugget in there too. I think would really, yeah, explode things beautifully.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
it's
we'll
just,
have to be in touch for that for sure.
yeah, it's just more positivity. Anything that can bring out that positivity is going to benefit you, and it's going to benefit everyone around you as well, because they're going to feel
Oh,
that energy coming off of you.
well, and this is it. And this is what I've been, I have clients that are new spiritually. They're just starting to open up to different things. They're not even 100% sure on how to clear, right? So I'm trying to see, there you go. I just did it. So I'm telling them, how important it is to do that for that
Right.
purpose, right? Be around the house, when and how and whatever. Yeah, really important. Something that it's actually a responsibility more so than it's ever been at this point in time to keep our energies clear. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Now, you also do something called color light therapy, which I know I was really fascinated with when we were talking about doing the retreat. Um, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So my color lights, I use a pen light flashlight, and then I have all sorts of little discs that go on the end of my flashlight in all different colors. So all the colors of the rainbow. I also have one that's bubbles. I have a rainbow one. I have ultraviolet and infrared and a whole bunch of spiritual colors. So with the color therapy, um, we need the sun in order to live. If we didn't have the sun, we would die. And the sun has all the colors of the rainbow, and it also has all the invisible colors that our eyes cannot see. But we receive the benefits from it when we go outside and we're standing in the sunshine. So, up here in Canada, where we have winter and we don't see the sunshine as much, seasonal affective disorder is a huge problem because we don't see the sun. And our bodies are missing those colors. It's missing the sunshine. So, what color light therapy does is I can focus the color on different parts of your body to be able to allow your body to infuse that color in and help heal. So it helps with pain. It helps with seasonal affective disorder. It's helped with what's it called? Just lost my, when you're quitting something, withdrawals. That was a byproduct. They're like, does it help with withdrawals? I'm like, I don't know, does it? And they're like, yes, it does. So I'm like, hey, that's all right. So it does help with withdrawals. Yeah, I can do it long distance, which is really cool.
Oh, beautiful.
The possibilities are endless for this, and it's really good as well for if you know that there's something wrong and you've been to the doctors and they're like, I know there's something wrong. The doctor's like, there's nothing wrong with you. It's because it's out here in your astral bodies out here. And that's when, I don't know if a lot of you have heard, thoughts become things. So thoughts out here and things that haven't been really addressed or looked into eventually physically manifest in our bodies. That's why it's called a dis-ease, because our body is not at ease. So what the color therapy does as well is it will help release and let go of anything that is in the ethereal bodies out here,
Hmm.
which helps. So if there is something in those bodies, we can release it and let it go before it physically manifests. A really cool story. Um, when I first got my, well, no, yeah, I'd had it for quite a few years actually. I took it. I always take my color lights everywhere I went, and I was at a family picnic, and my daughter, she was maybe about 10 or 12 at the time, and they had these rope swings tied to willow trees. So she was swinging away, and if you know anything about willow trees, the roots come out of the ground and they're very bumpy. Well, the rope let go, and she fell on her back on these roots. And it took, like, I didn't see her fall, but it took her a while to get over to me because she couldn't breathe, and she had the wind knocked out of her. So by the time she got over to me, she was having she was having difficulty. So I lifted up the back of her shirt, and just like, it was all red, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So I did the color therapy on her as we rushed her to the hospital. And by the time we got there, doctor lifted up her shirt and he's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Well, she fell." And he's like, "I see nothing. She didn't have a mark on her. No bruising, nothing the next day."
Beautiful. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
Just
it
goes to
is
show
very,
you,
very
right?
powerful. Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing story. And it's funny. I was going to ask you about some experiences with some of these modalities that you do. If you had any that you wanted to share, that was amazing.
And then one that from long distance, when the same daughter had my granddaughter, she was in the hospital, and I was there when my granddaughter was born, and she had fluid in her lungs, and so they were trying to expel it and do all this stuff, and so she was having a hard time eating and things like that because she couldn't breathe. And they said, we're going to have to do something, and she might be in here longer. And my poor daughter's freaking out. I'm freaking out. And so I went back home because she was in Hamilton. I went back home to Port Colborne, and I'm like, okay. So I sent the color lights to my little baby granddaughter, and the next day she was fine. So it cleared all that mucus out and got rid of it. And she was able to come home that day. So
Wow, that's so beautiful. Yeah, something that's something for people to really learn to know about, right? That
absolutely. And
that's
I
a
do work on
good,
dogs as well, and animals, and
of
yeah,
course, they live and breathe just like we do.
they do, and they love colors, cats especially. Anytime that I'm over and I'm working on a dog, the cat's like right up, laying right on my color lights, and yeah, they just love it.
Yeah, they're very intuitive. Dogs, cats, animals. I have a parrot, and they're so smart. We really need to keep taking a page out of their book, honestly, for so many reasons. Um,
Actually, I have done color lights on birds. I was over at a friend's house and doing work on the dog, and the birds were just like going crazy. So I did color lights on them all, and they were so quiet. They're just like looking at me like, "What was that?"
yeah, I've done some energy healing with a friend of mine who has had issues with birds, and yeah, they're so receptive because they're so sensitive to it. And what would take us, 15 minutes, say, would take them five. It's so much less,
Absolutely.
so much less. Now, I'm sure it was you and I that spoke about there was something new you're doing now, is there not? Was there something?
There is. And it's funny because I was just going to mention all these things that I do raise, it's all about frequency and vibration. So color is a vibration, words are a vibration. So if you notice when you might be speaking to somebody, you can feel how they're talking. That's why it's so hard in text messages going,
Oh,
"I'm not sure how I'm taking this." But if you can hear them speaking, because you can feel the vibration in your body. So
yeah.
colors, essential oils have high vibrations, and it's all about lifting the vibration that is so important. And I've just come across a device called a Healy, which also sends vibration. So I can do that long distance as well. I can do aura scans on it. There's so many things that it does, and it does. It's called a resonance scan. So it goes through all these different things, and it takes a snapshot of what's going on in your life right this second, and then it can send out vibrations to you to help release whatever it is that's going on. And it helps with the physical body, it helps with the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual body. So it's really, really cool. And it also has a coaching tool. So if you want to focus on, say, you're creating something and maybe you're having writer's block or something, you can put in whatever your focus is and then choose what different it's like different aspects you want to have run, and then it'll tell you what's standing in your way, of doing it, but it'll also send the frequencies to you to be able to help release that so that you can move forward. So it's very, very cool. And yeah, I've been sharing that, and so many people are like, oh my goodness, I'm getting one of those. So that's been
Yeah, I remember because you and I were talking about that, and I was like, "Well, that's really cool. That's
it
there's just
is.
things out there that you just don't know about,
And
and that's
that's how
it.
it is. That's it. So yeah, it's just
Amazing.
really tiny, and the apps go on your phone, and you just run it from there. And there's pain patches you can get. And I was sharing it with my friend the other day, and she has really bad sciatica. She's got to walk with a cane, and I put it on her, and I said, "Well, how is it feeling?" And she's like, "I don't have any pain." I'm like, "Did you have pain before?" She's like, "Yes, I did." She goes, "I don't have any pain right now." She was able to walk around without her cane.
You still have it. She didn't take it home with her. You left out.
So yeah, it's really quick to get them in. So it's about I think it's about 2 or 3 days now to once you order it to get it in. But it's just so helpful, especially with everything that's going on. Like you could just run programs all day. You can do them on animals. You can do them on plants. You can do them on other people. Like it's just really awesome, especially for practitioners or even just people at home that are struggling with different, diseases in their bodies or pain or whatever it is. It really helps all those different things because it's very easy to use. And yeah, there's lots of support. So it's another tool that just helps raise that vibration and really get you out of the tar pit and onto bigger and better things.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's. I remember. I think we talked about it shortly after you'd gotten it because it wasn't that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about it. I was like, wow, what are they going to come up with next? Like, honestly, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing because there is just so much. You think you know most of what's out there, and then you
Yeah,
realize you really only know a very small amount of what is out there to help people. It's fabulous. Um,
absolutely.
I don't know. Does anybody have any questions for Brenda? And for those that are watching it, by all means, reach out to Brenda if you have any questions, because we'll be doing a replay on this. So when we do the replay, and you have a question, it doesn't stop here. Reach out to her by all means. Ask her any of the questions that you have, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Um, just type it in the chat, guys. If there's something that you want to know, we are gonna when I post the video, Samantha will essentially get it up in the group, and then we'll also be posting it more out across social media and whatnot. So I'll have the links, which I will also share here in the WCLC. We'll have links and whatnot that we will share how to get a hold of Brenda. In different types of information in terms of reaching out to her. So that will be included with any of the videos. Samantha says, I will definitely connect with you. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to it.
And she said, thank you for sharing. This is incredible. Thanks so much. Um, so we've still got about 10 minutes. Is there anything else you spoke about a gift. There was something that you're doing as
Yes.
well.
Absolutely. So I am a faculty member at IAUSM, which is the International Academy of Self Mastery, and I have provided a link with Lee, and it's free to become a student. There's lots of free courses up there, and I have a complimentary course called Raising Your Vibration. Funny enough. So it's a 4 video series just on different easy ways to be able to start that habit of raising your vibration. And it's really fun. This isn't supposed to be work, it's to be fun. Because it is fun. Once you get started in it and you feel the shift in energy, it really is life changing. It's not drudgery. It's not like, oh, something else I have to do. When I ask that if you're just starting your journey, that you go into this with an open mind and the curiosity of a child, because it's fun, it's interesting, there's lots of cool things out there, and it's not saying everything will work for everybody. That's why there's so many different things, because we're all different and we all react to things a different way, and some people resonate with things, some things more than others, and it's great because that puts the power and control back on the person so that they have the power to choose what's best for them and work what feels best. And that's pretty much it. It's what feels good for you, and if it feels good, then great, do it and try it out. And if it doesn't feel the way you thought it would, try something different, because they're all pretty fun.
Most definitely. Yeah, that's something that sometimes gets lost is, when it comes right down to it, it is up to the individual. Even doing medicine work and all the other different types of work, or whatever anybody does, when it boils down to it, we essentially heal ourselves. We have the guidance, we have the help, we have assistance, and all the other things that bring it into play. But yeah, it's definitely up to the individual. Essentially, even through all of the work that you do, it's essentially you that's doing the work. It's you that's healing yourself, right?
Absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
that commitment to yourself to go, you know what, I'm important. And
Yeah.
that self care is so important. We need to take that self care, because if our cup is empty, then we can't help anyone else. It's just
No.
like if you're on a plane, whose mask do you put on first? Yours. You can't help anybody else. It's the same as self care. Do for yourself first, so then your cup is overflowing and then you can help others.
Yeah, 100%. It's a good reminder for everybody because I know, even people that have come to me over the years, and I've worked with them. However, I've done whatever I do, and it's one of those things where they're like, "Well, thank you so much," you, and every now and then I got to step back and say, what, I'll take part of the responsibility, and say yes, thank you on behalf of myself and spirit, though, because
Mm-hmm.
to walk around and say, "Oh yeah, I did that. I healed them, and I did this." That's nothing but ego, right? So
Yes.
yeah, so you really want to you really want to give credit where credit is due in the right way.
Well, it's all about free choice and free will and providing those options. That's what I loved when I worked uh, in Welland at the Hope Center. I worked there for 10 years, and it's like providing options was so important, because so many other, establishments would be like, well, there's nothing I can do. Well, no, there's something we can always do. Let's take a look. So I would get in there and it's like, all right, how can we do this, and be creative, and just, there's always options. Always, always, always. And just helping and providing those and saying, okay, well, these are the things that you can choose from. Now it's up to you to choose which is best for you. And then trusting them that they're going to pick which is best for them, instead of, well, I would do it this way because it's not my agenda, it's their journey.
Exactly.
So that's
And
really important as well.
you can give them suggestions, but you want to be careful, right? You don't want to sway them in a direction by saying, "Well, this is what you should do," or exactly. It really, again, it's up to the individual to make that decision and choice, and let them resonate with what works for them. I agree,
Absolutely.
100% for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Um, I don't know. Is there anything else that you can think of at this point that
Mm,
got about 5 minutes left? Um,
I don't know if anybody has any questions on crystals, because I do crystals too.
oh, there you go. Crystals, oils, oracle cards. My goodness, a woman of so many talents.
Oh, goodness. I
My
love my
goodness.
books. I love my books. So yeah, I've got quite
That's
a lot of
awesome.
books. So yeah.
That's fabulous. So
Mm-hmm.
if anybody wants to get your book, they can reach out to you. During
Absolutely.
this
Or
week
the
since you're
Oracle
having
cards. You
puppies.
can go to naturesdivas.com and purchase them there. And it's DEVA. It's not divas, DIVA. It's DEVA.
Good to know. There you go.
Naturesdivas.com. So, yeah. And then you can just purchase them there. And as well, there's a free video series on there with working with the Oracle cards as well
Oh,
that you can sign
wonderful.
up for. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Are you Capricorn by chance?
No, I'm a Libra. I like balance.
That does, because I resonate with a lot the way you do. I'm very much the same way. And I'm a Capricorn, so I thought,
And
but I
my
do see the
one
difference.
daughter is a Capricorn in January. She's born in January.
Me too.
So
Me too. So much. Danny says, thank you for all the information. Much love and light to all. Thank you, Danny, and the same back
thank
to you.
you.
Lots of love. Lots of love. Reach out to Brenda at any time there's anything that resonates with you, for sure. Um, I'm sure if you have even questions, you want to reach out to her. And she also, as she said, she does readings as well. So, even something like that. Yeah, lots of stuff. We'll have to. You'll have to probably replay this so you can remember everything that Brenda does. But I will include links in terms of reaching out to her, um, and the link for that gift, that program video series that she was speaking of. We'll have all of that posted, so you may get that. Thanks, Sam. Sam says thank you, Brenda and Mother Owl. So
Thank you.
thank
Very
you
nice
too,
to meet
Sam.
you.
Thanks, Samantha. Much appreciated. She kind of oversees me to make sure I'm not doing the wrong thing. She grounds me. You're so welcome, Danny. Thank you. I'm glad to see you here. There will be more videos coming up, and every other week we'll be doing a series with many different modalities in terms of trying to help everybody out there and figure out what it is that works for them. Um, but yeah, this is beautiful. This is our first one. I think it's gone extremely well. And thank you, Brenda, so much. I
Thank
quite
you.
enjoyed this because even though I knew a chunk of what you did, I still learned more about what you did. So that was really good. It was beautiful.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been fun being here, and I look forward to being part of this community. And yeah.
Yeah, the WCLC is a very loving community. It's private. In order for us all to connect and help one another, whatever that looks like.
Mm.
That's one of the things that I love about it. And it is private, so it's not, you don't have those, that social media stuff going on with the keyboard warriors and all that stuff. It's a loving community where everybody helps each other. So, yeah,
That's awesome.
it is. It's beautiful. So, okay, we're sitting at, I'm going to say in about 30 seconds or less, we're probably going to hit the hour mark. Um, and I look forward to talking to you again in the future. Brenda, as you know, as the events come up and we start doing some things again, then I'll be in touch with you as well. And I'll talk to you somewhere in between.
Sounds great. Have a wonderful evening and Merry Christmas.
Yes, and you too, and to everybody else for sure. Yeah, and I got to get those cards. That's one thing that Rose and I both said. We want those Divas cards. We want the Oracle cards. We really want to.
Yeah,
So
just go to naturesdivas.com and I can get those shipped out to you.
sounds good. Awesome.
All right.
Thank you. Well, thanks
Thanks.
everybody. Have a fabulous night. And as Brenda said, I should be back on the 27th with another one, but in case I don't see you, have a Merry Christmas as well. Sam says I will post the replay, so it'll be up there. Have a great night, everybody, and thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.